On the final night, Anneliese Michel whispered that she could smell hell. Her knees were split open, her lips bleeding, yet she refused water. 6 voices spoke through her mouth, none of them her own. The priests were exhausted. The doctors had given up. At 3 a.m., she looked at the crucifix and smiled. By morning, she was dead, but the question of why would never rest. Anneliese Michel was born on September 21, 1952, in the small Bavarian town of Klingenberg am Main, West Germany. Her parents, Joseph and Anna Michel, were devout Roman Catholics. Their faith was not symbolic, it governed every aspect of life. Prayer was routine. Confession was regular. Sin was feared more than illness. Anneliese was a gentle child. Shy, intelligent and intensely religious. From an early age, she displayed a seriousness uncommon for children. She prayed longer than required, knelt until her legs ached, and punished herself internally for thoughts she believed were sinful. Her mother encouraged devotion, unaware that faith, when paired with fear, can become a prison. For years, nothing seemed wrong. Then, in 1968, shortly before her 16th birthday, Anneliese suffered her first seizure. The seizure occurred at night. Anneliese awoke unable to breathe. Her body convulsed violently. Her tongue bit down hard enough to draw blood. When it ended, she lay frozen, fully conscious, unable to scream. Doctors diagnosed temporal lobe epilepsy. Medication followed, anticonvulsants meant to control the seizures. But the pills did not bring peace. They brought fog, fatigue, emotional instability. Worse, the seizures continued. Soon, something else began to happen. Anneliese started seeing things. Dark figures. Faces twisted beyond recognition. Shadowy shapes watching her from corners of rooms. She reported hearing voices mocking her, whispering blasphemies she was too ashamed to repeat. The doctors adjusted her medication. Increased dosages. Added antidepressants. None of it helped. By 1970, Anneliese had changed. She stopped sleeping. She stopped eating properly. She complained of an unbearable stench, rotting flesh, she said, something is following her everywhere. When she entered a church, her chest tightened violently. Holy water burned her skin. Religious images filled her with terror. At night, her parents heard her room shaking. They found her rigid on the bed, eyes rolled back, muttering in voices that did not sound like her own. Sometimes she barked like an animal. Sometimes she laughed, a deep, hollow sound that did not belong to a 20-year-old woman. Doctors insisted it was psychosis layered over epilepsy. The Michels were not convinced. Anna Michel believed something older, something darker, had entered her daughter. The Catholic Church does not grant exorcisms easily. Priests are trained to distrust possession claims. Mental illness must be ruled out completely. Science must fail first. One priest, however, Father Ernst Alt, noticed something disturbing. The Michels approached several priests. When Anneliese entered his presence, she became violent. She spat. She screamed obscenities in languages she had never studied. She recoiled from his rosary as if it burned her eyes. Father Alt requested permission for exorcism. The church said no. For years, Anneliese deteriorated. In 1975, permission was finally granted. 2 priests, Father Alt and Father Arnold Renz, were authorized to perform the Rituale Romanum, the official Catholic exorcism rite. What followed would last 10 months. The sessions were recorded on audio tape. During the first exorcism, Anneliese identified the entities inside her: Lucifer, Judas Iscariot, Nero, Cain, Fleischmann. Before moving further into the story, let me introduce you to the demons that were said to have possessed Anneliese Michel. Lucifer is the dominant presence, speaking with cold authority and overwhelming pride, mocking God while commanding the others with absolute contempt. Judas Iscariot is a voice of despair and endless remorse, consumed by betrayal, whispering of guilt, hopelessness, and eternal damnation. Nero is cruel and mocking, delighting in persecution, laughing at faith and suffering as if pain itself were entertainment. Cain is driven by jealousy and rage, burdened by the first murder, seething with hatred and twisted guilt. Fleischmann is a fallen priestly presence, corrupt and blasphemous, using sacred knowledge to desecrate faith from within. There was one more entity said to have possessed Anneliese Michel, but its name cannot be mentioned openly on social media. To learn about the complete case, please follow the link in the description. The voices were distinct. Male. Mocking. Ancient. They claimed she was being punished to show the world that hell existed. Exorcisms were performed once or twice a week. Sometimes more. Anneliese was commanded to kneel. She knelt for hours. Her knees cracked. Flesh tore. Bone pressed against skin. She performed hundreds of genuflections per session, even when her body collapsed. She refused food, claiming the demons forbade it. She drank her own urine. Ate insects. Bit the heads off birds. Not because she was told to, but because the voices demanded humiliation. Between sessions, she was calm. Apologetic. Soft-spoken. She told her mother she was suffering for others. She believed her pain was necessary. Doctors were still involved, but distantly. Anneliese weighed less than 70 pounds. Her muscles atrophied. Pneumonia set in. Her fever burned constantly. She could no longer stand without assistance. Yet the exorcisms continued. No feeding tube was installed. No hospitalization was enforced. Faith had replaced medicine. And faith demanded endurance. On June 30, 1976, Anneliese asked for absolution. She whispered that the demons were leaving, but only because she was dying. Her last words were simple: "Mother, I'm afraid." She died in her sleep. Cause of death: malnutrition and dehydration. Age: 23. The case shocked Germany. Her parents and the 2 priests were charged with negligent homicide. The courtroom played the exorcism tapes. Jurors wept. Doctors testified it was untreated mental illness. Priests testified it was possession. The court delivered its verdict: guilty. 6 months suspended sentence. Anneliese Michel's grave became a pilgrimage site. Some claimed miracles. Others claimed madness. The church quietly distanced itself. The tapes remain. And when people listen carefully, they ask the same question again and again. If this was illness, why did she know things she never learned? Why did her voice change? Why did the fear of sacred objects burn so deeply? And if it was possession, why did no one save her? Years later, a priest listening to the tapes noticed something new. In the final recording, beneath Anneliese's breathing, beneath the priest's prayers, a seventh voice whispered something unheard before. It did not name itself. And it was still laughing.